I mean, are you even a makeover channel junkie if you don't know about this hack? Sometimes all you need to transform a giant white gaping hole of a kitchen is a little zhuzh. Hi, I'm Liv. This is the Leopard Lodge, a channel where I do all kinds of creative things, from DIYing, to cooking, to decorating, and everything in between. So here's the deal. We moved into this house over a year ago, and my kitchen is still just like blah. It is so white, and I can't paint, and I have these vintage black and yellow tiles to contend with. It's a little bit tricky. I think it's important that you kind of live somewhere and like see how you use a space before you like jump in and start changing stuff. But I feel like that whole thing might have expired like a while ago, and I've known what I've needed to do for quite some time. The biggest blockade for me has been that I have been trying to get every little element and thing together for the entire kitchen so that I could film a big kitchen makeover transformation situation. But this is an HGTV. I am not even a big YouTuber with a crew and a budget. I am one person living in a house with one other person, and we can't just go dropping hundreds of dollars on a one and done kitchen transformation. Maybe you can relate, especially when we don't own the house. So this is what you're gonna get. Rental kitchen makeover part. A series of vignettes of different areas in the kitchen, budget solutions, creative ideas. I hope. If you can remember back to one of my very first episodes, I redid my kitchen at my old apartment mere months before deciding to move out. Naturally, I built a small wood counter to sit between the gap between my stove and my water heater. Well, my new kitchen is almost weirdly exactly the same layout as my old one, without the water heater, thank God. But I did still have a weird gap between my stove and the actual counter. So I just took that same piece that I'd built before and I made some adjustments to it to fit into the space. I did that within a week of moving in, and not much else happened after that. I did sew a little curtain out of my grandmother's vintage dress to hide the under the sink area, and I did the most basic of kitchen changes, a wonderful concept that I most definitely did not invent. Swapping out your drawer pulls for something cuter. I mean, do you even watch makeover channels if you don't know about this hack? These brass knobs are the same shape as the ones in my built-ins in the other areas of my house, and I'm hoping that they will age a little bit and be not quite so shiny. And that was it. It sat, and it sat, and it sat, until one day, quite recently, I was pushed to the brink. So like last week, I walked into my kitchen and I was just like, it's too white in here. Everything is white. I needed color. I know not everybody likes color in their house. They like neutrals. That's cool. That's fine. You do you. It's just kind of boring for me. I like want to be that person, but I'm not. I found this amazing vintage wallpaper hiding in the corner of an estate sale. I'm in love with this wallpaper. I wish there was more of it. And I really want to put this vintage wallpaper on the side of the fridge, like this. I mean, this wallpaper alone deserves giving this video a thumbs up. I do feel a little bit conflicted about the whole wallpapering your fridge situation. Of course, I've seen this done before, and I'm like, is it a little cheesy? Maybe. Ultimately, if you rent, peel and stick things are your friend. Of course, this wallpaper is vintage. It's not peel and stick. So how am I gonna put it up? Now, if I was trying to stick this to a wall, I might go about it in a little bit different of a way. But on a fridge, I don't need to worry about messing up the drywall or the paint. So double-sided tape is really the answer. It's pretty self-explanatory, I think. You just need to make sure everything is super taut and maybe buy less bulky tape than I did. Those are my words of wisdom. I would love to know in the comments your feelings on wallpapering fridges in general. Next up, a shelf can change your life. Truly. I've always known that I wanted to put a shelf here and a bar to hang things off of. The first time I built a shelf and put it up on my own was one of the most empowering days of my life. Tom and I wanted to put up all of these shelves in our old place, and he was at work and I didn't want to wait for him. And so I built all the shelves and I hung them up. And I was like, I can do anything. True story. Do yourself a favor and stop buying those pre-made shelves at IKEA. Go buy some wood. Even with the high price of wood these days, buying a piece of wood and cutting it up is still cheaper. Cut it yourself, or if you don't have a saw, you can usually get 3 free cuts at the hardware store. Prep it, stain it, hang up some cool brackets, use heavy-duty anchors. That is the key. Pop that wood up and secure it. Everything in my kitchen just got better. Sometimes those kitchen handrails they sell are kind of pricey and can't actually hold that much weight, or they don't look good. This was a pretty easy hack. I got a wooden dowel. Actually, I was reusing it from another project, so I cut that to size. Had to remove the old stain, but eventually I got it the right color and ready to hang. Yes, I am aware that there is no footage of me staining the dowel, but you really don't need footage of me staining every single thing, every single time. People could get really bored with that. I bought these ceiling mount curtain brackets. Originally, I intended to hang these from the shelf, but it was going to make the dowel too low to actually hang anything useful off of. So I had to put them into the wall instead. And it's maybe a little bit busy having 2 sets of brackets in there, but ultimately it got the job done. And I don't really mind how it looks. So that's all the hard work. Time to pull this space together. I cannot begin to tell you how happy I am to wake up every morning and have this as my view. It will never cease to amaze me how changing just a couple of things can make a space feel so much warmer and personal and more welcoming. Sometimes all you need is a little zhuzh. I hope you enjoyed this little vignette of my kitchen. There will be more, so make sure you're subscribed. I wouldn't want you missing out. That is all. Bye.